How are y'all doing? Today, live, we're going to talk about how much marriage evidence do you need to file your case to get it approved? Because that's what you're trying to do. Get that GC. Here we're live at greencardguys.tv. I'm your host, John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America and all across the world, helping you solve your immigration problem and hopefully prevent it from happening in the first place. So let's talk about it. How do we get your green card? Because ultimately, you want to get that green card so that you can become a U.S. citizen. At least I assume you want to become a U.S. citizen. Not everyone does, because other countries like, communist countries like China don't want people to take their money out. I heard it's difficult. So, but if you do have the opportunity to become a US citizen, you definitely want to take advantage of that. We had some clients that just got approved, took the oath recently, and actually, it took only about a month to get the interview. So that was pretty quick. So, not saying that we could promise that for you. Hopefully, we can get that done for you, but yeah, can't promise. Now, today, how much marriage evidence do you need? Yes, it's more than a marriage certificate for sure. Absolutely. No, but the reason I'm talking about this today is because a lot of y'all have called us and said, John, what the heck? Like, what the hell's going on? We have all this evidence. I'm like, yo, that's way too much. Um, but sometimes the evidence by itself won't take you to the finish line. Okay. So the first thing is preparing for the interview. Now I know a lot of y'all who, especially whether you have a lawyer or not, you're probably thinking, "Oh, it's no big deal." Of course, we're gonna tell the truth. And then maybe you had a fight the day before, an argument. Maybe it wasn't a big deal, but you had an argument the night before the interview. Yeah, not probably not good timing. All right, so don't want to play gender roles here, but typically us males, we kind of, push it to the edge a little bit. So in terms of arguments, I don't know this. Anyways, I will stop talking about that. But we just want to go into an interview with a good vibe, okay? Because we have received calls about people say, yeah, they ended up, it turned out we were in the same room, but when they asked some questions and you know aside from memory issues, the the we didn't have a good result. Like it didn't feel like it was going to be a good result. And part of that is the behavior, okay? The mood of the room. Okay, I hate to say it, but if they sense, and even if it's not just a sense, right? It's not just a vibe, but also something in the evidence seems a little bit strange. Like some of y'all provide all this proof of utility bills and statements, but they could have two different addresses. I don't recommend that. Only provide evidence that has the same address, please. Please take a careful look, okay? The second reason is that, for example, if you have a um, joint account, okay, you have a joint bank account, which, by the way, hot tip here, you don't have to have every single bank account together. It does not have to be joined for every single one of them. The government only cares to see just one bank account. I hope they don't in the future ask for all of them, but that's just something to keep in mind. All right. Is that you haven't been using that account, right? Because when you file your case, we most of our clients, they just got married maybe a month before, right? So we don't necessarily have to wait X amount of time. There used to be like an old rule or unspoken rule of waiting 90 days. That's not necessarily required, or I mean, it's not required. It just depends on the circumstances. But for most of our clients, they have only filed in 1 month or less after they got married. Maybe it's because they've been living together for so long. So you have evidence before the marriage. Everyone's situation is different. But the thing is, you're getting married to each other. You have to trust each other, at least have one bank account together and use that bank account. Please, please use it. I'm not saying that you have to use that one only, but the deal is if you're going to file this evidence, right? It's only, let's say you've only been married legally 1 month or you had the bank account together for, less than a month. totally understandable that you don't have transaction history together. The government understands that part. But when you have the interview later on, they're going to want to see more evidence, more recent evidence of your bank statements for the purpose of seeing that you're using it, right? So if you're whether you're paying mortgage or paying for rent, make sure that that account is the one paying for all that, okay? Or if it's by credit card, make sure that credit card is a joint account, okay? Because I see some, I hate to say this, silly mistakes, but maybe it's because that's why you hire a lawyer. Again, you don't have to have one, but that's why I'm sharing these tips. So maybe you can avoid that problem down the line. Now, another scenario where the marriage, of course, is legitimate, genuine, but we've seen some issues that there's over reliance on USCIS. You can't assume that USCIS is going to give you the proper advice. We have a client that had an interview, let's see, yeah, a couple years ago, and they didn't go. They called USCIS, and the agent, the representative, said, "Okay, you can't go because you need to get the medical exam." Um, then vanished, and then they received a denial letter in the mail. So, and that was because they didn't provide the medical exam. Now, of course, back then it's been about, I believe, 2 years now. But before the 2 years ago, the medical exam was only valid for 1 year, which is frustrating because you have to pay, I don't know, average, $400 to $500 to that medical clinic to get this medical result on an immigration form. So by the time you had the interview, it expired because marriage-based interviews usually took at least 12 months on average. Of course, it depends across the country. Uh, Let me know on YouTube if you can hear me okay, because my internet's a bit spotty, it looks like. Of course, drop any questions in the comment section. Happy to answer it. Let's see. I just have a lot of tips to share, but happy to answer any questions. And by the way, thanks for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We do offer free 15-minute preliminary discussion, consultation. See if we can point you in the right direction. There's no obligation to hire us, okay? We're here to point you in the right direction because we understand. You may even have your own lawyer right now, and they haven't called you back. Maybe it's say like more than 30 days. So when people call us, it's been way more than 30 days and they don't receive a call back. So we understand. One of the ways, at least one of three ways that we make a difference in that sense is that we think like a tech company. Okay. That is the way we make sure that we look at every single inquiry of a client. Okay. We call it a support ticket. So I don't have it live on the website for everyone to see, not yet, but it now is available. And I'll be sharing that soon with everyone on January 2nd. Okay. So otherwise, of course, we use a shared email inbox so you don't have to CC every single team member who's involved with your case. We make it very easy for you. So no client left behind is basically what I'm trying to say. Let's see here. Isabel, you said the medical is for the interview or is for the whole process? Because as I submit the 693 form with initial filing documents. Great question. It's basically for the end of the case. But yes, ideally you provide it with your whole package. Not required, but ideally you provide it with a whole package because especially for y'all that have sufficient amount of evidence and you have the medical, because of recent news that USCIS will consider waiving some interviews. They're not going to waive it for the folks that don't have the medical, examine their results in a sealed envelope. By the way, you can't open it. If you want your own copy, you have to ask the clinic to provide you that. Along, of course, so the medical exam, sealed envelope, and sufficient evidence. I'm honestly surprised that they would be waiving these interviews because for most people, you don't have that much transaction history on a joint bank account, for example. So that'd be interesting to see 6 months from now how far that goes along. But definitely that would save a lot of time for the government themselves, the officers. But they're pretty good about detecting if a case is fake or not, which I said this the other day. If you're entering a fake marriage, don't do it. Okay, don't do it for immigration benefit. These officers can tell. I can tell. Okay, I train my team to be able to tell, to detect it. So, but if you're going to continue doing it anyway, you do you. But don't involve a lawyer, please. It's just it just puts people in a bad shape. So you might as well do it yourself in that sense. Isabel, hopefully that answered your question. You can file it with your whole package like you did, or USCIS will provide you a courtesy notice, kind of like an RFE, but courtesy notice that hey, bring it to the interview. But even if they don't ask you for it, for the folks that didn't provide it at the initial submission, initial filing, you want to get that ready. So as soon as you get that interview notice, don't wait. Quickly look at uscis.gov, and look up the medical. Go to the tools and resources, and they have a. You just type in your zip code. We do it for our clients pretty much the first week to provide that list. But basically, USCIS provides you the list of clinics based on your zip code, so it makes it easy. Now, fortunately, on the USCIS website, it does not provide you the cost of each clinic. So the best way to lower your cost with the clinic directly is to make sure you have a record of all your shots. Okay, because if you don't have it, they're not going to take your word for it. You're going to have to take those shots again. And we all know some of y'all you don't want to take your shots. Okay, so aside from the COVID vaccine, some people don't want to take their flu shot and things like that. But I recommend the flu shot for sure. Let's see what else. The standard of evidence. This is a key thing right here, folks. The standard of evidence. If you had a lawyer, this is what we do. Okay, we would argue on paper that there is a sufficient amount of evidence that exceeds the preponderance of evidence standard. I'm going to see if I can find that on the uscs.gov website. Okay, because you might receive a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny, which, by the way, basically means USCIS is going to deny your case 99% chance, but you get this one sliver of 1% chance that if you provide the right type of evidence, then they can say, okay, you're approved. Fortunately, knock on wood, our team has been successful in every single case in this scenario. Cannot guarantee for you because it depends on the evidence that you have. And some of y'all need to get it together, okay, and get some evidence, okay. So, because some of y'all think a marriage certificate is sufficient. We've had those kind of calls. Like, no, you gotta do more than that. Now, let's see the standard of evidence before I go into another tangent. Because some people think, oh, should I appeal the case if you get a denial letter? But in this situation, is case by case. Normally, we would say refile the case, but let's say, and the reason is because appealing it with USCIS, there is no timetable. So they can literally take like 2 years and not get back to you. So the amount of money, yes, it's lower cost to appeal, but you might as well refile the 485 application at least with sufficient proper evidence. Now, when I mean sufficient, it doesn't mean you have like whole stack. Having a big stack doesn't mean it's sufficient because we've heard from USCIS officers, they don't want a photo album, okay, folks? They don't want a photo album. They really prefer to turn less pages, okay, on their desk. They want the sufficient proper evidence. And we call it the preponderance of evidence. Let me see if I can find that on the USCIS policy manual for y'all so you know exactly what the heck I'm talking about. All right, so I can share it on YouTube and Facebook. But again, if you have any questions, please let me know. Isabel, I see your question. I will get to that very soon. Okay, so you could see here on Facebook and YouTube, burden of proof. All right. It says the burden of proof never shifts to USCIS. USCIS has no authority, is not required to prove anything for you because you're the one who has to prove that you're in a legitimate, genuine, truthful marriage. Okay. Now it says here that Um, all you have to do, this means that the benefit requester, so the applicant, the foreign national, the immigrant, has come forward with facts and evidence which show that at the minimum, okay, without any further inquiry, if you have proven initial eligibility for the benefit sought. So, for example, the default is if you enter with the legal entry, so a visa. Although there are exceptions to where you can get the green card here in America without leaving, without having legal entry. That is possible. Um, but here it is. Now the standard of proof, okay, and right here, the standard proof applied in most administrative immigration proceedings is the preponderance of evidence. Okay, so here I'm showing it on YouTube and Facebook. If you're wondering how to get to this, we'll drop a link to this after the show, at least on Facebook and YouTube. So if you want to see it and you're on Instagram, hop on over to Green Card Guys on TV so you can check it out. So, anyways, what does that really mean to you? Okay, that means it has here, it defines it through case law. It means more likely than not that you are married legitimately, okay, in a genuine marriage, what we call bona fide marriage, okay, doesn't have to be more than 51%, basically, is what I'm saying. So, if you hear about like, TV shows that have criminal trials, things like that, the standard to prove someone guilty is much different, beyond a reasonable doubt. Like there's no doubt at all that this person is guilty. Okay. So anyway, so that's a key thing. Most of y'all don't know this, which is understandable. You didn't go to law school. This is something that we keep track of, right? This is like literally the first line that we put, okay, in our letters to the government, to USCIS. Okay. Um, let's see, Isabel, you said also if you made a mistake, they send the form back. Do you have to pay that filing fee? They should tell you because in the receipt notice on the top right will say like how much it was. Let's say it's like for yours, if it's a bit for 485 is 1225, I believe, and the I-130 is 535. Don't ask me how I remember these crazy numbers, but if it says that on your receipt notice, then that means they received your money and you don't have to pay again. But usually, when I hear something like this that you made a mistake, then you probably do have to pay again. Depends how you paid. If you want to check, if you pay by credit card, check your credit card statement. But if you pay by check, usually they give it back. So if they gave it back, then they definitely did not cash it. Okay, but check your bank account in that scenario. Because it sounds like when you say mistake and it got returned back, they usually call that a rejection notice. So rejection notices, they basically don't charge you. They don't accept the money. All right, so hopefully it helps. AB Samuel, what is considered strong evidence for fiance petition 129F? The key thing is the letter, statement of intent to marry. Okay, you can call whatever it is, but each of you need to write a letter. AB, I believe you already filed your case about a year ago. So if you have not received the request for evidence, then you should be okay on that front. But for everyone else who has not filed a fiance visa, you might want to consider getting married remotely. But if you still want to stick with filing a fiance visa, you need to have at least a letter of intent to get married. Like, what is your plan when you enter US? Like, at least a year later, you got to get basically there's two key lines, two main things you need to tell them that you're planning to get married within 90 days of entry. Okay. The second thing is they want to know, how did you meet within the last 2 years? Unfortunately, you have to have met in person. You can't meet virtually. I know it was tough during the pandemic, but you have to meet in person. Okay. There's some laws around this. That's why they do that. Uh, so they couldn't waive that requirement. Okay. So just keep that in mind. But you can get married remotely. That is possible. If you want to find out how, contact us or watch all our other videos. Let's see here. Okay, folks. Let's see what we got here. How y'all doing today? Where y'all watching from? Let me know. And where you watching from, because I'm always interested how far our channel has reached. It's kind of amazing, but we understand that a lot of people have immigration problems, and we're just trying to point you in the right direction, and maybe even prevent you from having that problem in the first place. Marriage cases, it's no joke, folks. Especially I heard during pandemic, and especially after speaking with my family lawyer friends, some of y'all getting divorced because you can't handle each other during pandemic through thick or thin. It is difficult. I get it, especially when the immigration case, having filed it during the pandemic, it is frustrating. So that's why if you have not hired a lawyer when you file your case, that's completely cool. Completely understand it. But if you receive a request for evidence or notice of intent to deny, give us a shout, okay? Because you don't want to have basically wasted, let's say, a year or 2 years while the case is pending, and you get in this situation, request for evidence, and you think it's a piece of cake. You're gonna provide exactly evidence that it says, because that's what our team's gonna do, right? We're gonna ask you everything at list out. So you would think it's simple, but we review everything that you provide us so that we make sure that's proper. Now, when it comes to like notice of intent to deny, note from USCIS, again, if you're just joining and you're learning about NOID, it's basically USCIS saying 99% chance your case is going to get denied, but we're giving you 1% sliver of a chance to give us some proper evidence so that we can overturn our thinking to approval. Now, again, fortunately, knock on wood, we've had great success, but we can't guarantee that for you. It takes teamwork. Okay, folks. If there's anything I learned during the pandemic and many of my colleagues and friends, you got to take action. Okay, don't wait around, especially for y'all that already filed a case and you've been waiting a long time. Now, some folks, I know you feel like you're waiting a long time. Like someone contacted us, I think, yeah, last year, several of y'all, and the fiance petition was just approved, and you want to file a mandamus lawsuit. I'm like, no, it's too early in that sense. You got to hit it to the next stage, and if that next stage takes a long time, then we can chat again. So it just depends. If you're not sure if it's feasible or proper to file a lawsuit yet, just give us a call, or you can go to our website, greencardguys.com, and let's see. I can show you how to do that on YouTube and Facebook. Go to the website, click on take a quiz. I call it text two-step. You answer a couple questions by taking that quiz to see if you qualify for a free consultation, 15 minutes. I'm sorry, going to be honest with y'all, not everyone qualifies. You might have to pay for one because some of y'all been taking advantage of those free 15 minutes, especially specifically those that have a lot of questions, which you want to answer it. But the key thing here, folks, is that we want to provide you the proper time. So if you think you need more than 15 minutes, then you need to pay for a consultation, okay? So, which also, if you want to speak with me directly, I understand, completely cool, but you got to pay 199, the consultation fee. If you want to speak with one of my other premier associates, I believe their consult fee is 149. So kind of give you an idea there. Um, Having operated my law firm for 10 years, I have to manage my time more properly so I can help the team get your case filed. So on that note, we do offer 3 different membership plans. The max plan covers all the services. So if you have RFE, NOID, we cover that. We don't charge you extra for it. And we also have a lawyer representing you at the interview. But not everyone wants that. So if you want a little bit lesser of a plan, we call it the Pro and the Light. Okay. So there's options for you. But the key thing that's different than most law firms, probably 99.9% different than most law firms, is that on each of those plans, we file your case timely. So max plan for family-based cases, 30 days. Pro, 60 days. Light, 90 days. And this is our way of being intentional to be honest with you, transparent, and say, we have to, we don't treat anyone differently, but we treat the case itself differently. because if someone pays more, then that person deserves to get their case filed sooner. So, and everyone's budget is different. Okay. So, kind of give you an idea, but I'm pretty sure I encourage you, ask the law firm, ask another law firm, how soon you're going to file my case. They actually might like grimace. They might like fall down in their chair like, I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea. And they don't want to lie, right? I get it. But we're very intentional. We have internal goals as a team to file your case timely. Um, because we already know USCIS and the government agencies take freaking forever, and it's frustrating for everyone. So don't let the government bully you, and check out our website. Okay, we have free guides on our website. Take a look. Okay, so right there, I'm showing on YouTube and Facebook. Mandamus is the most popular one, but we have several. Okay, about family, investor, a bunch of other information. We have it contains answers to common questions, estimated step by step, and why we exist, our core values, why we're different than many other law firms. So take a look at that. AB, you said Lagos, Nigeria. Welcome. Nice to see you again. Thanks for tuning in. Isabel, you said, can I, as a U.S. citizen, file for relative cousin? What's that process? Unfortunately, no. No primos or primas, no cousins. But if you have a company, you might be able to sponsor them. It's not easy. Okay. It's a long process. Depends which process you want to do. But we also have a guide about that on our website, greencardguys.com. I appreciate the hearts and likes. If you enjoy the way we share content, please smash the hearts and like button. And of course, follow for more tips. But if you know anyone else that has a question, immigration question, I greatly appreciate if you can share a video. That means the world to us because, obviously I go live every day to share useful, at least hopefully useful and helpful information. Isabel, you said you have a business in LLC. Okay, that's great. So let's take a look at your cousin's background. Okay, if you want to contact our team, we can take a look. But we also, not just about your company, but about your cousin's resume, essentially, background. Okay. And if you didn't catch my other video the other day, we did talk about work visa options and for residency as well. Number one, you really need to know this. It's December 30th. You need to prep for H-1B period. Registration, you don't want to miss it. It's typically the first week of March. It only happens one time a year. So don't miss it. It only costs $10 to USCIS. So don't miss a chance, okay, folks? If you're in college, professional school, I guess you can call it. That's been so long for me, I don't remember what you call it. But yeah, professional school, get on board, start looking for employers, go to those recruitment tables. If you don't know what the heck you want to do in life, just pick something, okay? Because you need to stay in America. I'm assuming you paid a lot of money for international foreign tuition. All right. So just pick something. You can always change it later, your profession, okay? I changed my major, I don't know, 3-4 times. But at this point, if you're about to graduate, you just got to hit the finish line, okay? So, yeah, you have a business. It is possible for non-immigrant visa like H-1B. And even if your cousin gets selected in the H-1B, which requires a university degree, by the way, and it could be a bachelor's or a master's degree. The other thing is that even if you get selected, or she does, I shouldn't say she, but if your cousin gets selected in that, that doesn't mean you're going to hit the finish line all the way. We still need to file another package, like an actual physical package to USCIS, including the petition for H-1B, and then USCIS can make a decision. Normally it takes about, between 3 and 5 months, but if you want to know in 15 business days, it is possible. But like Disney World, not a sponsor, but it's like the Rapid Pass. We call it premium processing. It's 2,500. I believe they increased it when President Trump was in office. Okay, so it is possible. But even if you find out sooner in 15 business days, that doesn't mean your cousin can start like next week. You have to just process to pick up the visa abroad, okay, in your country of nationality. And just gonna tell you the whole thing. I'm gonna go all the way with this. Is that there's been frustration about delays. Okay, delays just to pick up the visa. People have been sent the DS-55 freaking 35 form, and I think it's so unnecessary. 15 years of residence address is ridiculous. Okay, they've been doing it to a lot of people. We get comments about this all the time on those other videos. But aside from that, they don't do it to everyone. But H-1B, okay, that's in March. Contact us way before then. We don't want to wait last minute because it's just not a good idea. There's a lot of people that need status, right? So don't wait last minute. Get the plan. Get the plan, read over the plan, and take action, okay? Whether you hire us or another law firm, it's all good. We just want to help you so you don't miss out on the March registration. But that's, again, for non-immigrant visa. There are other options for EB, but those usually take about almost 2 years. Unfortunately, the government is freaking ridiculous. Shelly, I was laughing earlier because I saw Shelly Licious Milan. Do we file VAWA? We absolutely do for men or females. You're frustrated because you haven't received a 765 yet. You filed it over 211 days ago since you did your filing. I think you commented maybe about this before. Have you? I hope consider filing for expedite request. We've done that for several clients, especially using the reason similar to, maybe like not having a job, things like that, no employment. So consider filing expedite request. Let me see. I need to write that down. Send y'all the link later. Get some paper. So try Shelly Licious. Try to do that via Emma. Emma is the website chat on the uscs.gov website. Okay, it's usually in the bottom right corner, I think. Or if that doesn't pop up for some reason, then go to the contact page, and it should be there. Find Emma. Consider her your best friend, and it's actually a human on the other side. Apparently, I think they have different agents helping out on that. But you don't need to call in. Don't waste your time on that, because you call in, it could take like 30 minutes, and it's just kind of frustrating. But have your receipt number ready, okay? Because they're going to ask that. They're probably going to ask your date of birth, your full name, Shelicious, and your address, just to verify who you are, first of all. That's why. And they're going to ask you if you're the applicant or attorney of record. All right, so share all that information and tell them your reason why you're requesting expedite request. And typically, if they do want more evidence, let's say, I don't know, like maybe a letter from you later on, they'll email you, okay? So make sure you provide your proper email address. You don't want to miss that. Let's see here. Yeah, but we do file for VAWA, and timing is very important, okay? So especially if the abuse happened more than it needs to have, I'm sorry that the incident abuse happened, but you need to act soon, okay? There is a timing issue with that to file it. Badru, thank you so much for your kind words. On YouTube, you said that, hi, Attorney Ting, happy for having us as one of his lawyers. Really do appreciate your help and your team as well. Very professional communicating. Keep it up. Thank you, Badru. We really try our best to do that. I know it can get kind of crazy with law firms, especially these days with Trump kind of, screwing it up a bit. So then people are just backlogged, unfortunately. So with that being said, I know that a lot of people have questions. So that's why we're on YouTube, okay, folks, and Instagram and all these social media. By the way, folks, we do have a TikTok channel, Green Card Guys _John. So if you have a TikTok channel, please follow me there. I try to share funny stuff, but at the same time, or tips, but in a different way, right? Everyone tells me I'm so serious, so that's why I created a TikTok channel. But If you're not on it, maybe don't get on it at all because it can be addicting. Okay. I tell my team get in and get out. Okay. Only get the useful information and don't get stuck. But that's the problem, right? A lot of stuff is always seems a bit useful. Shelly Licious, you said, do you have to call in to get a cost or to do it? You're asking for someone else. So what we do normally, Shelly, and anyone else is interested in considering our services, we greatly appreciate it. Number one is that we offer a free guide. We email you that, and that usually contains the cost. Okay, so if I just spit out a number, it really won't mean anything, um, because you won't the person you're helping wouldn't know like the different services under each plan. For most different cases, we offer three different plans. So check that out. Give us a call or text in. Let's see. Which, by the way, if you are abroad and trying to use WhatsApp and contact us, it's not the number in the description box. Unfortunately, it's a different one. It's 346-330-5888. That's the WhatsApp number. Let me put that right there. Okay, great. Let's see. So I went over 30 minutes. What other questions can I answer? Otherwise, folks, it's Friday. Don't do anything too crazy. If you're an immigrant, foreign national, don't drink and drive. Don't do anything wrong, please. Especially if you're here, well, with or without status, actually. Uh, just what do you call it? Place an order. Order Uber. Order a ride. Okay, if you're gonna go drink and drive. Um, Hopefully, you don't need a criminal defense lawyer, but if you do, and you're in Texas, because that's where I am, let me know because we want to make sure you get taken care of. Okay, folks. Hopefully, nothing bad happens, but I wish you a happy New Year. If you want to unlock those free 15 minutes, because we are for consultation. Oh, the secret code. I've been forgetting to share that with you. Green card guys, you could have guessed it. Okay, so check that out. And let's see what else. You can go to our website to take a quiz to qualify for it. Go to greencardguys.com, click on take quiz. It's not a guaranteed thing because there might be a way we can help you without having consultation. We've been sharing short videos to answer your question, or even emailing you a free guide. And that usually should take care of it. But if not, we're happy to help you. And yeah, I guess the next time I see you live is going to be the new year, 2023. So until next time, celebrate the new year and be safe. Take care now.